Okay, I think we are ready to start this webinar. Good afternoon from snowy Stockholm. I'm delighted to see so many of you joining us for this webinar, an introduction to the bachelor programs at Stockholm School of Economics. My name is Simone Westergård, and together with our students, Isabella and Alessandro, we are going to lead this session today, where we will talk about the bachelor programs that we offer at Stockholm School of Economics. We're going to talk about admissions, student life, moving to Stockholm, and much, much more. You will also hear from Isabella and Alessandro. They will share their own personal SSE story. If you, throughout this webinar, have admission-related questions, please use the Q&A box in the bottom of your screen. My colleagues Camilla, Sofia, and Ebba, they are in the back end of this session answering all your questions in that Q&A box. I also have my colleague Per Liestam here today, and we would like to inform you that this session will be recorded, and Per is making sure that questions come in as they should and that the recording is working properly.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
So, Isabella, would you like to start by introducing yourself, where you're from and what program you're in?
Yeah, sure. Hey everyone, I'm Isabella. I'm a first year student, and I'm a part of the retail management program here at SSE. I'm originally from Stockholm, but I've lived abroad most of my life. So I've lived in Uruguay for around 8 years and the US and Washington, D.C. for about four. And now I'm back here in Stockholm.
Thank you. And Alessandro?
Hi everyone, I'm Alessandro, and as you can hear from my name and from the picture, I come from Italy. I am a second year student in the program of Business Economics at the Stockholm School of Economics, and I lived all my life in Italy, and I had an exchange year in Canada, nearby Vancouver, and I decided to come to Stockholm right after my graduation in Italy.
Thank you all for sharing. You will hear much more from the students, and you will also have the opportunity to ask them questions later on in this webinar. This is, as a recruitment manager at SSE, this is a big part of what I love with my job, to meet you all and to answer your questions and to be able to inspire you to studies in Stockholm and at Stockholm School of Economics. We would like to ask you to keep your microphones muted, but we would, of course, want to know, we're very curious, where are you all from? So take a second and put in the chat from which city or what country are you listening in today? Because we know you're several out there joining us, so we are curious about you as well. Per, do we have any places in the chat?
Let's see. There might be something wrong with the chat function, actually.
Oh, that's too bad.
Let's see.
Okay. Maybe we'll skip this moment then.
So so people can write in the Q&A instead. That's
Yeah.
what they're doing. So
Oh,
thank you for that, everyone.
Yeah.
So we have France, we have Dubai, we have Montenegro, Hamburg, Germany, Budapest, Ukraine, Rome. So one of your fellow Italians, Alessandro, Mexico, New York, the US, Pakistan, Mallorca, Slovenia, Toronto, Germany, again, Latvia, Mumbai, India, Helsinki, Japan, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Really
That's
nice to see.
wonderful.
Hanoi, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you all for sharing and sharing where you're all from. We are going to start this webinar by bringing you to our home country, which is Sweden. Sweden is a country located in the northern parts of Europe, and this picture is taken just next to the polar circle in the middle of the night. And what you see here is the midnight sun shining. And this is a truly Swedish experience. Nature is easy accessible and it's really yours. You will literally have nature around the corner from everywhere you live. It's not unusual to bike to school or actually take a dip in a lake after classes. Living so close to nature, sustainability is an important question for the Swedes, both environmental sustainability, but also the question of work-life balance, that kind of sustainability, in your case, the study-life balance. The quality of living in Sweden is high, and you will find Sweden being a progressive country. We have listed some companies here, IKEA, Spotify, H&M, also the Nobel Prize. So innovation, entrepreneurship, and a very progressive mindset is typical for Sweden. When it comes to education, it's affordable and of high quality, and it's actually tuition-free for all EU citizens. Moving around in the society, you will find that English is well spoken by almost everyone, everywhere. If we zoom in a bit, we come to the capital of Sweden, which is Stockholm. This is a drone picture of the city center of Stockholm. Stockholm is built on 14 islands, so it's water everywhere. And Stockholm is a vibrant, cosmopolitan, and cultural country. And we usually say it's green, clean, and walkable. We have been named the most innovative city in Europe and also the Silicon Valley of Europe. And this is true. Stockholm is the home to many global headquarters, and it's a startup, fintech, and AI hub. If we keep on zooming, we come to Stockholm School of Economics, or SSE, as we say. SSE is actually a unique institution in this part of the world. It's a private institution and the only truly private higher education institution in Sweden. We were founded in 1909 with the mission to strengthen Sweden's competitiveness through research and science-based education. And what we mean with this is that our graduates should contribute to a better and more well-functioning economy and society. So you could say that SSE is, of course, a business school, but fundamentally a school of social sciences. We have been ranked the #1 business school in the Nordic countries by Financial Times for more than 20 years in a row. And the SSE Business Lab, our own incubator, is ranked by Financial Times again, top 10 in Europe for startups. We are a fully international business school. All programs are taught in English, and we are a small school, only 2,000 students, but representing more than 80 nationalities. Another important and maybe somewhat unique feature of SSE is the close tie to the business sector and the business industry in Stockholm and Sweden. We have more than 100 corporate partners, and these partners are an important part of what SSE is, but also of the experience as a student at SSE. And with this close connection and close relationship to our corporate partners, of course, employability for our students is high. On this slide, you see some of those corporate partners, and they range through all different kinds of sectors. One big and important sector is, of course, the consulting industry. We have corporate partners such as BCG, McKinsey, EY, and Deloitte, but also the banking and finance sector with companies such as Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, but also the big Swedish banks where you have SEB, Nordea, and Handelsbanken. Another important sector is the global industrial companies. You would have H&M, Google, Coca-Cola, ABB, and Scania. The education at SSE is anchored in our free philosophy. And this is a philosophy that nurtures graduates who are fact and science-based. They are reflective and self-aware. They are empathetic and culturally literate. And they are entrepreneurial and responsible. And we strongly believe that this mission prepares our students to lead responsibly in a rapidly changing AI-driven world. And of course, student life, a big and very important part of being a student at any university in the world and at SSE. The student association is called SASE, Student Association at SSE. And this is a very active organization. And as a school, we're happy to collaborate so closely with the students and the Student Association on the introduction week, on the development of the program, and also of on the evaluation of the study experience and the education that we offer. But apart from this, of course, Student Association is all about being a student and having fun. So parties, sports, mentorship programs, trips, choir, singing, you name it. The association really brings a lot of life to campus and to the student experience. And Alessandro, would you like to share a few words about how you have been involved in SSE? I know you have created a society for Italians.
Yes, I did. Last year with other Italians, master students, and this year, luckily, also some bachelor first year students that joined. We founded an Italian society within SSE, and one of the committees is the international committee. So for the international students, and you are able to have your own nation club. That is not just a way to stay with your connationals. That's not really the point. The point is to share your country's culture with other students, with Swedes, but also with the other internationals. And so that is the project I've been the most engaged in, and that I got the most out of it, even because I think you do something that is really what SASE wants to do, both fun things that can go, I mean, I'm talking about Italian style, so from aperitivos, so listening to Italian music and so on, making pasta even, to more serious panels and interviews with maybe guests coming from Italy, close connections with the Italian embassy, or some Italian professionals in Stockholm. But the thing is not just about the Italian society. The thing is that there is a close connection also with the other nations. And I think that the more people that join and have initiative and wants to bring their added value to this association, the more fun it is, because we can create very close connections between the nations.
Lovely, thank you. And Isabella, you're a first-year student, but you already are engaged in SSE as well as a social equality representative. It's a newly formed position. Tell us.
Yeah, so like as a first year student, you're encouraged to kind of interview for a lot of different committees within SASE. And this role kind of caught my eye because it was relatively new. So there like wasn't really a role description either, which I thought which could be seen as intimidating, but I kind of thought it was interesting because then I can kind of take it as I want and create kind of a bridge between SASE, which is like the student association, which is completely like kind of separate from like SSE. So I get to like create like more bridges between the two by like collaborating with the person in charge of DEI and like making sure that everyone feels welcome, and like if there's any situation that where that doesn't happen, like how do you take care of that? And I find it really interesting, and how do you prevent those type of situations where people don't feel included. And I think that's really important within like a university, and especially like me and Olivia, who is the DEI representative at SSE, we work with like making sure that everyone, like even international students, like feel really integrated easily through activities and stuff, and it's really fun. So I really enjoyed the role, and I encourage like if you come to SC, like be part of these like committees, because it's a great way of like making friends outside of your like classes and stuff, and it helps social a lot.
Thank you. And I know that you're going to share more about your student experience and your student life later on. So thank you. So I'm going to take you on a campus tour. Maybe it's not the best format to do that digitally, but campus is really an inspiring place to be. And to support the free mission, we constantly develop our campus to be that creative hub where collaboration and well-being is important and also high on the agenda. So what you see here is our main building. It's located in the center of Stockholm, in the heart of Stockholm, as you see, next to a big green park. And from here, it's just a few minutes walk to a major commuter hub and another 5 to 10 minutes walk to downtown Stockholm. A few pictures from inside campus. This is the main auditorium. You will take your first trembling steps here on the first introduction day. But this is also where some of the students have lectures, you would have exams, and also the opportunity to listen to lunch lectures from corporate partners or to interesting TED Talks. This is our library, a popular place to study, and also an open public library where you could check out books and do research. We constantly invite artists to come and design and decorate our classrooms. And this is again to enhance the creativity and the environment in which we learn. We are trying to make classrooms and corridors not just a place where you sit or that you run through, but rather a place where creativity is sparking, where you could question, where you could rest, where you could take in knowledge. So this is, for example, one of the corridors at SSE, and it's really designed for you to sit down, to study, and to stay, and to reflect. This is one of our reading rooms. This is a perfect room for group circles, book discussions, or quiet reading. Someone actually asked me the other day if it's an AI picture, and it's not. It's one of our classrooms. And this very, very short campus tour, I'm going to end it somewhere that's actually outside campus. This is the Stockholm City Hall, where the Nobel Banquet is held in December every year. This picture is from one of our graduation ceremonies. The ceremonies are held in the City Hall, and maybe you could picture yourself here in 3 or 4 years receiving your diploma from the hands of the president. So down to business. This is the SSE program portfolio. As you can see, we offer 2 bachelor programs, 5 master programs. We have PhD, MBA, and executive education as well at SSE. Today, we're going to talk about the 2 bachelor programs, business and economics and retail management. And we're going to start with the bachelor program in business and economics. And this is your program, Alessandro. This program is a program that will provide you as a student with a broad and firm knowledge in the business and economics subjects. Throughout the program, you will gain a deep understanding of the economic factors that affects both the society we live in, but also organizations. You will develop strategic and analytical skills in how economic factors can be influenced to reach desired goals. The program has a structure of 2 halves. So in the first half, that's the first 3 semesters, you take mandatory courses in a wide range of subjects, and you see them all here to the left. It's economics, finance, marketing, management, entrepreneurship, and sustainability. The second half of the program, on the right in your picture, semester 4, 5, and 6, you could customize your degree through 1 or 2 specializations, and you choose a specialization from the subject you previously studied. And on top of the specialization, you choose from a wide range of elective courses. And here you could choose more of all of this, but also a wide range of courses where you could choose from your different interests in life. During the last year, you could do an exchange semester, or you could do a 16-week internship course with one of our corporate partners. And of course, before you graduate, you write your bachelor thesis. So, Alessandro, to start off with the first 3 semesters, because you are just finalizing this part of the program, you take all these mandatory courses, but I could also see courses here, reflection series and global challenges courses. Those are not traditional like business school courses. Could you share with us what kind of courses are those courses?
Absolutely. I will start with the reflection series, which I have actually just finished. Those are 6 seminars that last 3 hours each, in which you gather with your introduction group. So when you start SSE, the first week you will be gathered with other peers, a group of around 20 people, to start networking and connecting with these people. And then they will be with you throughout these 6 different seminars, in which you will be able to reflect upon yourself with other people and about really anything. The projects vary depending on the course, on the reflection series, which is held by a professor of SSE. And he will customize the course depending on the output that he gets from the students. And during this course, I mean, at least my take after having completed that was great. While at first it was a little bit mysterious what this reflection series was, then as I went on with the reflections, I actually found it a lot of fun and really helpful in having a moment, taking a break, 3 hours of break in a very busy and intense life, of reflecting upon yourself and connecting with other people on a deep emotional level as well. Well, then moving to the global challenges courses, I am currently taking the second course, and I can already say something about that. While in global challenges one is the course that you will take at the start of your studies at SSE. And both of the courses are very particular, and they are special to SSE because they capture really the free mindset that Simona highlighted before, and they allow you to reflect on global challenges, as the title of the course is. So they will teach you analytical tools to think about climate change, sustainability, rising inequalities, immigration. So challenges of nowadays that a business student, whether he will work in a corporate reality or in an institution, in a public institution, I think it's very important to know. And don't worry if at the beginning of the course, if you join the SSE, you will feel confused also about this course. I was, and I didn't really understand the point of the course. But after that, when I engaged with my friends in conversation about geopolitics or any other global challenges, I was actually using the terms from the theory of the course. So then I understood, wow, this course is actually very useful. So I really recommend, if you'll take it to take your time, be okay with being confused, and then you will see that this will benefit you largely.
Thank you for sharing. And you're now just in the end of semester 3, so you're choosing your specialization very, very soon, since you start semester 4 just after Christmas. Tell us, what did you choose?
Yeah, so I chose economics and finance. So I'll take 2 specialization, and then on top, I would also like to take a further elective because this is a thing among electives that I think is very interesting in SSE, is that there is a wide choice of language courses as well. And so I will take French. And so you have different levels, like A2 and a B1 of all the languages, and you can choose among Swedish, French, German, and Spanish. And I studied French in middle school, and now I would like to relearn it again, as I really, really like the language.
So just as Alessandro is mentioning here, you have elective courses within the subjects, the core subjects that you already studied, but there is a wide range of other electives within sustainability or AI or culture, media, history, and as Alessandro is mentioning, as well languages. And I know you're taking some Swedish as well, aren't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
actually, I did it when I arrived here. And that's also a piece of advice I would give to everybody that wants to come and study in Sweden. Everybody speaks perfect English, so you can get by just with English without no problem. You go to the oldest person in the room, and maybe 80, 90 years old. And coming from Italy, I was impressed at how well English they could speak, even better than mine, basically. So you can get by with English, but just to understand more the Swedish culture, and also with practicalities when you go around in the metro station, or you receive an email or a letter in Swedish, then it's good to have some coordinates to orient yourself when you read the letter.
Yeah.
So I took the course actually in the first period, the A2 level Swedish, and that was really useful for me to start having basic conversations with Swedes, and he helped me, also getting used to the Swedish culture.
And this is something we recommend if you intend to stay here at least 3 years for your studies. It's really nice to know a little bit of Swedish. During the third year, as a part of the electives in the Business and Economics program, you could engage in something called the Civica Engage track. Civica is an alliance of 10 European universities. You see them all here on the screen. And SSE is one of these 10 universities. And as a student at SSE, you could engage in this track. And the track is for students with a strong civic engagement, and you get to work on societal issues with students from all over Europe. So the track is one course at SSE, one course at one of the partner universities that you see here, and then also one European week, which is an exchange week where you go to one of these universities, and together with students from all of these universities, you work on an assignment together. So this is really something that is enhancing the experience of both the SSE, but also of the European connections and going on an exchange, so the international aspect of it. And apart from that track, we have, of course, the exchange program at SSE. So as a student in the Business and Economics program, you could, during your last year, go on an exchange. And here are some of the universities that we partner with. So you could go to any of these and do one semester there. What do you say, Alessandro? Do you want to go on exchange?
Yes, and if you ask me where I would like to go, now we'll have to apply quite soon. I would like to go to Asia. So my first choice would be Japan. So as you can see on the top right, Keio University is very close to Tokyo, is in the Tokyo metropolitan area. That would be my dream.
Wow, cool. And before moving on, just one last question, Alessandro. What would you say is the best with your program?
Is the best. Like
what do you like the best?
Oh, what I like the best. Wow, that's a hard question because there are so many positive things about the program. Well, I would say in general the people, because it is a small school. It's 300 students intake per year, but among the 300 students, well, you can find people that are interested in basically anything. So if you want to talk about art, cinema, I mean, finance, economics, sports, really, you can find at least a person that is passionate about that topic. So, and it's, just 300 students. So this person is not even that difficult to find. And that is, I think, the thing that I like the most, because if you have many interests, you can find many people you can connect with and then gather with and talk about things that you're passionate about.
Thank you. Let's move on to your program, Isabella. This is the bachelor program in retail management. And the retail program is a specialized business and economics program, and it has a strong focus on retail. So this means that the program is closely linked to the retail industry. And for you as a student in this program, it will give you a great opportunity to work with retail companies, and you do that throughout the 3 years. It prepares you for a successful career in consumer-focused companies or organizations. And you see on this screen that the program follows a set program structure for the 3 years. And the program largely consists of mandatory courses that has a strong focus on retail. And the courses are carefully customized, so you get both this retail-specific content, but also the content that students normally receive at a business school. So you have all the traditional subjects such as business, economics, finance, and management. So that's where this program is rooted in the traditional business school subjects, but it has retail as its applied area. In this program, you see something that runs through all 3 years that is called the Applied Retail Track. And this runs through all 6 semesters. And this gives you, as a student, an opportunity to work closely with well-known retail companies. You could see it on the slide here. And this gives you unmatched networking opportunities that would really guide you and help you in your future career. Theory and practice will be combined, and you will work hands-on with real-life projects and cases and challenges given to you by the companies. And this could be challenges such as sustainability or the development of AI. So, Isabella, you're a first-year student in this program. Tell us a little bit about what's so unique and maybe this applied retail track. How is this structured, and what do you do as a student?
So I really, really liked it. When I first applied and got into SSE, I was a little confused on what this kind of really meant. But in simple terms, the class or the entire bachelor's program, we get divided into these different retail clubs. I'm this year part of Axel Jonsson, so I'll be part of that retail club the entire year. And then we have different workshops with them. So, for example, I had a workshop yesterday where we went to X Foundation, which is a section of my like retail club company, and they present us with, like you described, Simone, like with cases. So, for example, yesterday's case was like how you can use certain like raw materials that get discarded a lot. And we as a like us from SSE had to come up with like innovative ideas for them that they might implement or take inspiration from. And it really like you feel really heard too. They really do care what you have to say to them. And it's really interesting to kind of get insight on like what type of careers there are within the retail industry as well, because it kind of exposes you to the different positions there are. And like, for example, Axel Jonsson, they focus a lot on the grocery retail industry, and I had never thought of like the food industry and as part of my career, but I find it so interesting now after I've been part of this like retail club, and I think it's a really unique experience, and you have to like really make sure that you make the most out of it because you get to like make connections and like talk to so many people that are within the retail industry. Like I've met so many like CEOs and like managers, and like we get one-on-one conversations with them when we have like snack time. We call it fika here in Sweden. And it's a really unique experience and really inspiring in a lot of ways because in my program there's a lot of people that aren't really sure where they want to go, and a lot of people get inspired and a better idea of what they want to do as being part of this retail management track.
And I know that sustainability is a big part of the track and what you learn through the company's work with sustainability. Could you share a few words about that?
Yeah, they do focus on sustainability a lot. Actually, also the one that I'm part of really focus on sustainability. All the companies do, but I've just been part of this one. They focus on like current problems and like they like show you the importance of like putting it as like a top factor when considering like making like future corporate decisions on where the company is going to move towards. We also have sustainability like within the courses themselves, but it's more like theory, whereas here in the retail like applied retail track program, it's more like in practice. You get to like think of like sustainable like options that the company could turn towards, or like um or not just sustainability but also social responsibility as well, not just like environmental responsibility, which is really really nice, and something that I'm truly interested in. So I think there's a big focus on that as well, which is great.
So you have, alongside the mandatory courses, you have this applied retail track that runs throughout the program. You have one company for each year. And when you're in your final year, you do your bachelor thesis, of course, but you also do a bigger company project together with one of these companies that are engaged in the program. There are a few spots for exchange. If you would like to go on exchange from the retail management program, there are a few seats. And then again, to enhance the free mission and the philosophy of free, you have something called Antonia Axelsson Jonsson's tutorial program. That's, I think, the longest course name at SSE. Could you share a few words about that track or program or course, Isabella? The tutorial program.
Yeah, no. It's like what I explained, the being part of Axel Jonsson.
Oh, but that's applied retail track, isn't it?
Yeah, so there's like, and then there's also exactly. So it's confusing because I'm part of both, but also the Axel Jonsson like applied retail track. But it's the same company. So Axel Jonsson it's a huge company, and they have like different like sectors and smaller companies that they oversee essentially. So it gets a little confusing with the name. But basically like you have like throughout the 3 different years you like go through different things. So now the first year we're going through like facts and science based mindset, and you kind of just like get to understand like how the company take these things into consideration, and you get to like also meet a lot of like previous alumni from SSE, work with them, so you get to meet with them and kind of like see how they're working a lot with AI as well and sustainability at the same time. There's a lot of talk about AI within this, like how we can use it in a responsible manner and to our advantage, and how companies do the same. And we get a lot of like guest lecturers that are invited from them, and they come and talk about different subjects or things that they are specialized in. And again, this is like a great opportunity to kind of like listen to what other people are doing within the industry, because although retail management might sound really niche, it's really not, and people do so many different things. And the kind of the Antonia Axelsson Jonsson tutorial program, they introduce like a lot of guest lectures that do a lot of different things, so you get to see how wide the spectrum is within this industry.
Thank you, Isabella, and I'm so sorry for confusing confusing you. So same question to you before I leave the word open for you. What's the best thing with your program?
Not to sound repetitive, but I would also probably say the people. So in the retail management program, we're even a smaller program. So in my class first year, we're 60 students, and although we're only few people, like there's so many people that have done such a variety of things previously to studying, either like throughout high school or taking some gap years. And it's really interesting to hear what they have to say, what they've been doing. I think people are extremely open and friendly. It's really easy to make friends with such a small community. I was born in Sweden, but I've lived abroad most of my life. So of course the social life is something that made me a little nervous when starting at a new university and definitely in a new country. But having such a small program makes it really easy to get close to people extremely quickly. So I'm very thankful for that small community.
Thank you. I'm now handing over the word to the students. And Isabella, you're first to go. So we're going to hear from Isabella. She's going to share her personal SSE journey. And then it's time for Alessandro to do the same. So if you have questions specifically for the students, you could put them in the chat now while you're listening. And we have time, hopefully we have time to address them in the end. So questions for the students, please put them in the chat. And Isabella, the floor is yours.
Well, I'll just reintroduce myself. I'm Isabella von Hedegen. So I'm both from Sweden and Uruguay. So my dad's Swedish and my mom is Uruguayan. I was born here in Sweden, in Stockholm. And then when I was 8, I moved to Montevideo in Uruguay. And then I moved to Washington, D.C. in the US. And now I moved back here to Sweden. So I've been moving around. And therefore, as you can see on the screen, I speak Swedish, Spanish, and English. And then, well, the place I lived, I went to high school in the US in DC. So I did my IB program at Bethesda Chevy Chase High School. And yeah. So having like moved around a lot and also doing the IB program in my high school, it was like a very international community. So I always knew that I wanted to go to a pretty international school somewhere in Europe. And of course, I had heard of SSE, like coming from Sweden and stuff. But I hadn't really understood just how international it is. Like there are so many people from all around, like from different backgrounds, and it's so interesting. And I think it's really mind-opening and gives you like a great like global understanding. So when I heard that SSE was such a like international school, I became really interested. I wasn't sure what I wanted to study, and the retail management program kind of scared me because it sounded really focused. And I was like, oh, like if I choose this, I have to stick with this. But that is so not true. It is so broad, and like you can go so many different directions. We have many people like from different like career paths like coming in that all did the same like bachelor's program. And it's a really, really interesting one. Like I find it really interesting to learn. But I know that now having started. When I first applied, I kind of looked through the courses. I just thought it was very unique. And so yeah, so I chose like SSE and the retail management program that they offered because I'm very interested in like a more holistic type of learning. So like hands-on experiences, which I knew the retail management program would offer, like through the applied retail track. I also obviously like the location of Stockholm. I've always been interested in studying in Stockholm. It's a really pretty and fun city to live in at this age during university. I also knew that it was a pretty small student body, which I've explained now why it's beneficial, but I already knew that I wanted that too, because in my IB program in high school, we were a small like community within my high school as well. And then I also chose SSE like because of its recognition, like in part, like it's a very ambitious environment. A lot of people like strive for really high goals. And I think that's really important that you choose which type of people you surround yourself by. It's going to push you to like want to do more, or like, I don't know, aim higher than you might have if you weren't in a community where everyone was pushing for such high goals. So ambitious environment, recognition, location, and then yeah, just kind of the broad solid base that it gives you. Being around like ambitious people like always gives you networking for the future as well. But I think that's the least interesting part of it. It's like I think you get like inspired from them. And although we all come from a lot of different backgrounds because it's very like international, in some way we are still from similar backgrounds, like international backgrounds, interested in like maths or business or like making. A lot of people in my grade are very like interested in like improving like societal problems through like business within retail, which has like a lot of room for improvement and stuff. And then a huge factor for my decision in SSE was also that it's no tuition for all EU citizens, which I am. And coming from the US, that's a very, very big difference. And I'm so thankful that I get this really, really great education for free. And yeah, and I'm really happy. All those things that I had considered when choosing SSE and the retail management, those expectations were all met. And like and above even of what I had expected. I think it's a really, really great program. I am so, so happy with the people in my class as well, my teachers as well. So this is kind of how it's been going so far. So these are just a couple of pictures, but um, although it's a very intense course academically, there is so much room for like just being social. As you can see, I have pictures with like friends and stuff. And I just started in August, and these pictures are from like August. I've like social life gets rolling really, really quick. There's no like need to be scared of like moving to a country that you haven't lived in before or don't really know people, and people are super welcoming in the program. And open to trying like different activities and meeting different people. So yeah, so I'm really happy with it. And this is just kind of an example of what your student life could look like. There's like some pictures from the lectures and nightlife, and there's one picture there from one of our applied retail track workshops, some dinners and the subway. But yeah, so I'm really happy with it.
Thank you so much, Isabella. Alessandro, I'm handing it over to you. The floor is yours.
Okay, perfect. Well, I already introduced myself, but I will redo it just for the script. So yeah, I'm Alessandro, and I come from Italy. Now I also reveal the city where I'm from. So in Milan, I was born on the 21st of January 2005. And actually, I'm from a city called Gallarate, because there are some Italians, maybe you know it by any chance. And well, Italy defined, shaped my background. I'm from an Italian family. I went to the Italian public school system, and luckily enough, during my high school years, on my grade 12, I went on an exchange year to Canada in 2022. I went to Chilliwack, which is a city very close to Vancouver, and there I discovered a new world. I've always been living in my country, just visiting around other cities in Europe, and capital cities, for example, I don't know, Paris or London and so on. But this was the very first time I went outside of Europe. And I met so many people of my same age that were coming from different countries in Europe and from the rest of the world. And we all had the same interest, but at the same time, we had different perspectives of how to pursue or how to act with those interests because we were from different cultures. And that is the thing that really captured my attention. And as I like to describe this experience, I think it's mind opening and repeatable. So because of this repeatableness, I don't know if it's even a word, but I will use it now. I wanted to give a value to it. So I graduated in Canada during grade 12, and then I came back to Italy to graduate as well in Italy for my grade 13. And then when I was still in Canada and in March 2023, I started researching on universities, and I came through SSE. And I started researching on that. And then during that summer, I had a call actually with Per, and he explained me very well the SSE environment. And then I did the application processes as an early bird. And already before Christmas, I knew I was accepted to the university. I also came to Stockholm before deciding whether to go to SSE, and I met there also Simon. That took me on a tour to SSE, and from that experience in December, it really changed my mind. And I said, "Okay, I want to go to Sweden. I really like the city. The program is amazing." And then, I mean, it's also tuition free, as Isabella also mentioned, which is a great benefit. So yeah, I want to go to SSC. I want to go abroad to study. And then I landed on the 8th of August last year, 2024. And here I started my journey that was filled with activities from, I mean, studies, which is, of course, like our basically full-time job, but then with so many other projects. And that's the thing also that I like the most. The second thing that I like the most after people in SSE, which is the fact that it is an intense program, but while at the same time, it really shapes your mindset in a positive way. I really feel after the first year that I learned so much and more than ever before in my life. It also allows you to have time for your own projects or for a job, a part-time job or an extra job as you wish. And so among the activities I pursued, I mean, I already talked briefly about the Italian Society that I founded with other Italian students last year. And then in 2025, I started working in a pizzeria as a waiter. And every time I say this to my friends, they say, "Oh, you are such an average Italian," but I have to live with that. And why I mention this is because from this pizzeria, I actually understood the value of SSE for Swedish people. As I was just, serving pizzas, and people maybe would ask me, "Well, what do you do here? Do you just work here, or I mean, are you a student?" And I would say, "Yes, I study in Stockholm School of Economics." And when Swedes would ask me that question, I would reply to them. They would be, "Wow, then you must be so smart." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, I'm just taking pizzas to your table, but I mean, thank you for the compliment. I still have a long way to go." But that's just because I mean, SSE is really highly regarded in Sweden. And then I also worked until August in an Italian startup for financial literacy. It is like the Duolingo for financial literacy. And of course, the overarching presence over my SSE experience last year and this year as well is friends. I already mentioned the people and really the good, I would call it like competition and competitive environment. So both with a cooperation aspect and a positive competition that allows you to push yourself a lot and being willing to be engaged in many projects and be pushed really by the people that surround you. And then this is my present and a little bit of an outlook to my future or my dreams for the future. It is then to study a master for economics, and then after that started working in a central bank. So as a first step, I would really like to work in the European Central Bank and to contribute positively to the European Union, which is also the reason why I am here in Sweden without paying a single euro for such an amazing experience, such an amazing school. And then after that, give the final contribution to my country working in the Central Bank of Italy to, in a way, thank my country for the possibilities that it gave me so far that I'm benefiting from, and I want to try to give back something of these things that I'm taking from it.
Thank you so much, both of you. Per, are there questions for the students, or should we take them at the end?
I think we have time for some quick questions,
Yeah.
but so we have time for admissions as well.
Yes.
But basically, we had some questions about the teaching style at SSE. So any one of you, Isabella and Alessandro, like how is this lecture-based, discussion-based, project-oriented? How are the professors? So feel free to share your view on that.
I think it's quite different between the two programs, so maybe I think both of us could answer. So it's we have a good perspective. Well, about the business economics program, there is a semester, and then within each semester there are two periods of 8 weeks long, and after that you have exams. And during the learning period, you have both lectures and seminars. That's the average course. So you usually have 1 to 2 lectures per week, and then 1 to 2 seminars per week for every subject. And you usually take, at least at the beginning, 3 courses every period. And regarding teaching style, well, that really depends on the subject, whether it's more quantitative or more qualitative subject. So if we show you, maybe the professor has some theory, some equations as well for quantitative, but as well a really practical input with real world data, real world events to give a context of what they are explaining. And it is a very informal environment. One thing that is typical of Sweden is that you don't even have to like mention the last name or last name of the professor, but you can just call them by name. Actually, they get offended, kind of. Some people get offended if you tell them like, oh, Mr. X. So that is an environment that really allows you to learn well and be happy to learn as well, I think.
Thank you so much, Alessandro. So one question for Isabella then as well. And then we've answered some questions also in the Q&A already. Let's see. So Isabella, can you share like how courses are actually assessed, like the grading system?
Yeah, so in the retail management program, I'm not sure if it's the same for the BE program. Um, but so we do two courses at a time, as well as the applied retail track all throughout the entire year. It kind of varies depending on the course. So usually you'll do like a math-based course and then like a concept-based course. So right now, for example, I'm doing marketing, which would be the concept one, and then accounting, which would be the math-based one. They're assessed differently. Normally the final exam at the end of the teaching period is usually around between like I would say like so far like 85 to 90% of your grade. And then you get like those points that aren't part of the exam come from like either seminars or work assignments, or individual ones. And sometimes it could just be like you'll get like so the math-based ones usually have like theoretical lectures and then like applied sessions where you actually like make sure you know how to like problem solve. And so you'll get like some problems beforehand and just for trying you get some points and then for like participating in the actual like workshop you get more points. So they're kind of generous in that sense, but most of the grade comes from the final exam.
Perfect. Thank you, Isabella. Simon, I think we can proceed to the admissions part. And if we would have time over in the end, we can get back to some of these questions as well. So keep asking in the Q&A as well to the admissions team.
Yes, thank you both. Yeah, okay, perfect. Let's move on. So, as Alessandro, Isabella, and myself mentioned a couple of times, if you are EU, EEA, Swiss, or Ukrainian passport holder, it's tuition free. So, free of charge to study a bachelor program at Stockholm School of Economics. If you're outside these countries or these regions, a bachelor program is about 120,000, not about, it is 120,000 Swedish krona per year. And that is approximately 12,000 US or 10,000 euros per year, something depending there on the currency. We do offer a few scholarships, and those scholarships will, in that case, cover 50% of your tuition fee, and you apply for those scholarships at the same time as you apply to the program. When it comes to housing and living costs, we usually say that getting around in Stockholm, a student need around 1,200 euros per month. There are a lot of student discounts on museum and gyms and public transportation and cafes and restaurants. So you could live a good life, but this is still around what you would need, and that includes rent then. SSE offers housing in Spånga. Spånga is an area about 15 minutes commute from the campus. And we have studio apartments. You see them here on the picture, about 16 square meters big. You have your own kitchen, your own bathroom, and even a balcony. If you want, you could stay here throughout the program, so for 3 years, or you start out here the first year and then you find something else. A lot of students, they go with friends, they would rent something closer to the city or something in another neighborhood or something cheaper. So the options is all yours, but you could stay here if you want. And again, you apply or you choose this when you apply for the program. You also tick the box for housing, that you're interested in housing. At SSE, we also guide you through this housing process because there are other options as well. You have private housing providers, for example. So we're happy to guide you through those different options and that process as well. So here is what you've all been waiting for. I know you have been chatting away in the Q&A with my admissions colleagues, but I'll do this quickly for all of you. There are two main requirements to apply to SSE. First of all, you need your high school diploma. And secondly, you need a university admissions test. So these two things are needed. When it comes to your high school diploma, we do accept predicted grades. So this means you can apply in your last year of high school. We are going to look at your overall GPA score, so IB score or your diploma GPA score. And this, of course, differs depending on what diploma you have. We have gathered all the information on all the different countries and diplomas of the world, and you will find it on our website, hhs.se/diploma. So that's a really good page to go to see what is required with your diploma. We have only two subject requirements, and that is for English and that is for math. Again, you will find exactly what is required, what courses from your diploma that meets our math and English requirement, and that is again on that hhs.se diploma. We would like to highlight here that admissions to SSE is very competitive, and usually you need a higher score than what you see on these pages. For IB, for example, a 37 or above is what would be required to get admitted. But again, check out that web page. The second thing that you need is a university admission test. You could see the tests we accept and the minimum cutoff scores that you need. Something we would like to highlight here is that you need to plan accordingly. Often you need to register for these different tests a couple of weeks before the actual test date. And the test that is the most common one is the SAT. And if you would like to apply now in this round for starting SSE in the fall of 2026, the last test date is already now in December. So you see the registration deadline in red on the slide here. And for your convenience, we added a QR code. So please scan that QR code. It will take you to that registration page for the SAT test. So very important to be planning ahead and accordingly to not miss out on the registration for the tests. This is, in short, what you need. Detailed information on the application process is, again, on our website, hhs.se, how to apply. You could find all useful information there. To give you an idea, I told you that we have two subject requirements, which is English and math, and then the total GPA requirement that goes for all diplomas. What we did to give you an idea of what that looks like is on this page we gathered, or on this picture, we gathered the most common diplomas. So for example, the IB diploma, minimum cutoff is 31. Usually you need 37 and above to be admitted. You see what goes for English. You meet the English requirement with English B standard level, and you see the same what goes for the mathematic requirements. And then you could follow what goes for the US diploma, what goes for the UK diploma, and also for the German Abitur. So these are the most common diplomas, but again, on the hhs.se diploma page, you could find the details and what goes for your specific diploma. And the timeline. Applications opened already in mid-October, but don't stress about it. We do not do rolling admissions. So don't stress with your application. Make sure you gather all the documents and that you get all the predictions and that you have everything you need, and then submit it in time before mid-January, where the deadline is. So no stress, gather everything you need, and deadline would be mid-January. If everything is in order and you meet all of your requirements, you will be called for an online interview in February, and then you will get your offer in early April, and then we want you to say yes to SSE in the beginning of May. Another important thing here is that it is a two-stepped process to apply to SSE. You start your application on universityadmissions.se. That's the Swedish national portal where you apply. You choose Stockholm School of Economics and you submit your passport and everything. That is step one. Step two would be on our portal. So this is where you finish your application, you specify what program, and you tick the boxes for scholarships and housing and so on. And your application isn't complete until both these steps are done. So please remember that it is a two-step process to finish your application. And again, please look at our website on how to apply. We have a few minutes for questions to Alessandro and Isabella, but when we close this webinar in a few minutes, you still can access our students and chat with them. We have a function called Unibuddy. It's a platform embedded on our website, and you could see Isabella there, but also a lot of other international bachelor students, and they are there ready to chat with you and answer your questions. So go in there, read their blogs, their stories, their profiles, and fire away. But before that, we have a few minutes to do this live. So Per, what more questions do we have for Isabella or Alessandro?
Yeah, so to both of you, we had some questions about housing. So how did you find housing, but also like what is your current situation basically? So perhaps Isabella, if you want to start.
Sure. I know that the school offers a lot of different really helpful systems to kind of find housing. I am not the best example for this because I am Swedish and we already had a place in Sweden where I live in. So, but maybe Alessandro can help with this.
Yeah, exactly. So I am the one benefiting from the service of SSE with Sponga, which are the apartments that Simon showed before in the picture. And I am still here after 1 year by choice because I really like it. It's you get from 16, 24, or 32 square meters apartment. But even though you think they are small, like the 16, the one in which I am, they are very, very well organized, and you have everything you need basically. And then there are common areas. There's a free gym, common kitchens, if you want to cook with other people, a cinema, then a football pitch, a very nice area to go running. I like running, so I really enjoy it. So yeah, I mean, I really, really like it. Otherwise, you can sign up once you get your social security number. You will see like personnummer, my very bad Swedish. And after you get that, you can access this SSB system, which is the housing system in Stockholm, and works as a queue. So when you sign up, you accumulate queues days, and after the more days you have, the higher the priority for you to find housing. So let's say you accumulate, you sign up when you arrive in Stockholm, basically after you get your social security number. Then after 1 year, you have more or less 300 days. And so you will have high priority. So there are very good places in which you can stay in the center of the city as well. So do not worry about that. And they have a relatively low price compared to going through other websites that are much, much more expensive.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We also had some questions about the level of math and basically Yeah, what's the level of math? Like, how have you perceived that? Alessandro, you're in your second year, right?
Yeah.
So can you tell us about like how do you perceive the level of math and how much math you have, how math heavy the program is, and so on?
Okay, so math has always been like my passion as a subject. So I'm also like a little bit biased on that. That depends really on how much math you studied before. I mean, if you come from the Italian school system, you're good. I don't know really about any other systems, but also my friends didn't find any like big difficulties. The focus in SSE is not much about like the math that you study in high school. That's like pretty easy actually. It is more about statistics and the data analytics courses, which is something that not many programs teach. I know IB has some courses about that, but yeah, don't worry about it. It's the first course. It's okay, medium difficulty. The second course of data analytics is more difficult, but I think the subject is very interesting and useful, so you will enjoy it. Yeah.
Thank you.
In terms of the retail program, sorry I interrupted you here, but in terms of the retail program, for example, I did IB, so I did center level IB math analysis. So well, for you guys who are in IB, you'll understand what that means, but it has a focus on statistics, which has been really helpful for me as well.
Thank you so much, Isabella. And I think we'll stop there, Simon. We answered almost all questions, so we should be happy about that as well.
Almost all questions, yes. So Alessandro, would you have a last comment for the students?
Yeah, so actually, because the student body platform works perfectly, but if there are some, imminent questions that the students want to get answered like immediately, I can like share my, I don't know, like LinkedIn contact, and they can connect so they can ask me like immediately if that.
That's very kind of you. So please put it in the chat so all the participants in the webinar can see your contacts. And great offer, everyone. You could contact Alessandro or Isabella on Unibody, and Alessandro on his contacts with whatever more questions you may have. This has been a wonderful session. First of all, thank you, Isabella and Alessandro, for joining us today, sharing so openly and personally about your SSE journey and your experience. So thank you for being here. We're very grateful. And for all of you that logged on and joined us today, thank you for being here. We hope we inspired you. We hope we answered all your questions. And we want to wish you best of luck with your application. And hopefully, we'll see you all on campus in Stockholm in August. So with this, thank you and goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.